Hey, my besties. Welcome back to Little Clothes Love Tales. I'm your host, Neha, a mom, an entrepreneur in the making. And today we are diving into 5 incredible books and essays that have shaped the course of my life in last few years. These books or essays are not just for reading and getting inspired, but the real beauty is to think of these teachings in your testing moments. So whether you're a busy parent who is just looking to be more present, an entrepreneur who is uncertain of future as you're trying to build something of your own, or you are just somebody who's living one day at a time, these readings will help you get by. I promise. So grab your tea or kombucha and let's get started. The very first book that I want to highlight is called The Mom Test by Rob Fitzpatrick. If you want to ask better questions in your life, read this book. I repeat, read this book. This book tops my list, and that is for a reason. It has changed the way I ask questions in my life, be it professional or personal. Robert is a self-made millionaire, and his books are used in universities such as Harvard, MIT, UCLA, and also as manuals for training at companies like Skyscanner and Shopify. The concept behind this book is simple. Ask questions in a way that even your mom can't be biased about. Because if you ask direct questions about your idea from your mom or someone close to you, they are likely to tell you what they think you want to hear and not the truth. Robert explains that most entrepreneurs make the mistake of asking questions like, do you think my product is a good idea? Do you think customers would want to buy it? And a question like this will be answered with a positive yes, especially if your friends or family are answering those questions. But that feedback isn't useful, is it? So instead, Robert suggests asking questions in a way that brings out the real problems, the real needs, and the current solutions people are using. For me, this book has been a total game changer. It completely changed the way I was reaching out to parents. Now, instead of telling them straight away that I am developing a skincare brand for babies, I try to usually ask them about what skincare brands are they currently using, what are their biggest issue with their baby skin, and if they can change one thing about existing products in the market, what would it be? This helped me refine my products, and my product development phase has never been more clearer. If you are looking to validate an idea, this book will help you to frame the right questions to get the feedback you need. No sugarcoating. The second book I want to talk about is one of my all-time favorite books, Norwegian Wood by Haruki Murakami. Now, if you have never read this book, I think it's time to sit down and unpack why it's such a life-changing read. I remember the first time I picked up Norwegian Wood, it was one of those rare moments where a book felt like it's written just for me. It's got this beautiful haunting quality that stays with you after you have read it. And if you're familiar with Murakami, you know he has this unique way of blending ordinary experiences with something more surreal. Norwegian Wood is set in 1960s Japan and follows the story of Toru Watanabe, a college student who is navigating the complexities of love, grief, and mental health. He's caught between two women, Nako, a deeply troubled woman with whom he shares a profound connection, and Midori, a more vibrant and eccentric character who brings him back to the life in unexpected ways. But what makes Norwegian Wood so special to me is its exploration of mental health. It's easy to get overwhelmed by the pressures around us, whether it's the demands of parenting, entrepreneurship, or just life itself. And Norwegian Wood brings these struggles to the forefront in such a real and emotional way. The third book I want to talk about is not a book, but an essay by Carey Saarinen. He's the founder of an app called Linear, which is used for modern product development. It helps in streamlining issues, projects, and product roadmaps. In his essay called The Profitable Startup, Carey talks about how for years the startup world has been obsessed with growth. Investors, advisors, and even founders themselves have been taught that focusing on growth above all was the key to success. But what about profitability? That was something you didn't even need to think about until you reach scale. But Carey reveals it's the opposite. It's about controlling your own destiny. It means you no longer have to rely on investors for survival. It means you can stick to your vision, and you get to decide the pace of your growth. And once you experience it, you realize it's hard to imagine doing things any other way. Most interesting parts of the essay is when Carey talks about Paul Graham's concept of ramen profitability. For those who don't know, Ramen profitability is the point where your company can survive without external funding. And it's often seen as a sweet spot for startups. But in today's world, Carrie argues that it's not just ramen profitability we should be aiming for. It's traditional profitability while still growing fast. And this resonates with me on so many levels. I am on my journey to launch Little Lotus Love, and the goal isn't to scale fast at all costs. It is about creating a product and a brand that I believe in, one that could stand on its own, be profitable, and thrive without the constant need for investment rounds. The focus is always on making something valuable first, and the growth would follow naturally. So, if you're building a startup, I encourage you to take a hard look at your path to profitability. It's not a dirty word, like Saruman points out, but it's not something that only the unambitious focus on. It's about taking control of your destiny and building at your own pace and creating something sustainable and valuable in the long run. I hope this essay inspires you as much as it did me, because once you experience the freedom that comes with profitability, you'll never want to build your business any other way. The fourth book is also an essay, and it's called Breadcrumbs, written by Simon Cyrus, a developer. This essay talks about the digital world we lived in. He says it's all about how we show up in the world, how we build our presence, and believe it or not, how we can live virtuously in the most everyday ways. Now, if you're like me, you have probably heard about the idea of building your personal brand or making your work visible online. Whether it's through social media, blogs, or any other platform, we are often told to be seen, to show up, to leave a mark. But in Breadcrumbs, Simon Saris takes a step further by challenging us to leave what he calls breadcrumbs of virtue wherever we go. The essay begins with a thought that really struck me. If you want to be virtuous, you need to learn to eat cereal virtuously. I said, cereal? Okay, hear me out. I know it sounds a bit odd, but let me explain. Cyrus argues that virtue doesn't come from grand heroic acts. It's not about waiting for the big moments when we can do something monumental. Virtue is the small things we do every single day. Just like a sculptor who spends hours perfecting the smallest detail of a piece, we should approach everything. Yes, even a cereal eating with a level of care and intention. Now, this idea of living virtuously is often linked to doing something big and dramatic, but Saris suggests it's the opposite. It's about how you show up in the small everyday moments. The breadcrumbs are these little marks of intentionality and the care that we leave behind, like the way we interact with others, the way we work, and even the way we engage in our hobbies. The idea of breadcrumbs really speaks to me because as an entrepreneur and a parent, I often feel there's a pressure to make grand gestures, to do something big, to get noticed. But the truth is, we don't always need to do something huge. Just small, random acts of care, whether in our business or in our relationship, can leave the most lasting impact. Think of it like creating a trail of value that others can follow. Every little thing you do adds up. So stop waiting for that one big moment or that perfect profile. Instead, focus on leaving a trail of breadcrumbs that are meaningful and authentic and that show who you truly are, whether it's through your business, your hobbies, your relationships, or your social media. These small acts of intention will eventually lead people to you in the most natural and powerful way. The last book I want to talk about is deeply personal. This book has been my daily source of strength and guidance for last 2 years. It's a book that has truly touched my heart and I keep going back to it. It's a book called Journey to the Heart by Melody Petty. I know a lot of us are juggling a lot in our lives, whether it's balancing work, parenting, or business or job. And it's very easy to get caught up in the hustle every day and forget to check in with our inner self. And that's where this book has been a game changer. I started reading this over 2 years ago, and it's something I have come back to every single day. Each day, the book offers a short meditation or reflection, and that's really been the beauty of it. It's just a little nugget of wisdom that's easy to absorb, bite-sized, even on the busiest days. For example, there was a passage I read that really stuck with me. It said, you don't have to do anything, be anything, or fix anything. You are enough just as you are. In moments of stress, when the to-do list feels endless and I'm overwhelmed with running a business or caring for my daughter, this reminder is a lifesaver. I even started to incorporate these reflections into my daily routine right after I wake up. One of the other reasons I really like this book is because it helps me to stay rooted in gratitude, encourages me to recognize the beauty and blessings around me. Take a moment, take a pause, and enjoy and reflect everything. And that has been so helpful, especially when life gets overwhelming. I feel like the more I practice gratitude, the more I notice the little things that bring joy, like my daughter's laugh or just a quiet coffee to myself after a hectic day. So if you're looking for a way to center yourself, to reconnect with your heart, I highly recommend Journey to the Heart. Whether you're a busy parent, an entrepreneur, a corporate person, or just trying to find peace in your day-to-day life, this book is an incredible companion on the journey to becoming the best version of yourself. Now, if you have enjoyed this episode, I would like to hear your thoughts. Are there any books that have had a profound impact on your life? Please feel free to reach out to me on Instagram, and don't forget to share this podcast with fellow parents or entrepreneurs who might benefit from these insights. Thank you for tuning in, and until next time, keep growing, keep learning, and keep nourishing both yourself and your little ones. The information provided in this podcast is for educational purposes only and should not be considered professional, financial, medical, or parenting advice. While we do our best to provide accurate and up-to-date insights, we encourage you to do your own research and consult with relevant experts before making any decisions. Always use discretion when implementing new strategies in your parenting journey. Thanks for listening.